Hey, my crafty friends, it's Trisha Clark with Sparkle Farts Paper Crafts, and I'm here with a flip through of my April Storm Studio design team project for July 2026 using her Siren's Call kit. This is Blackthorne's log. I've got a momigami cover here to make it look like leather. I've done some metal corners, this fun metal clasp. We've got Blackthorne's log, some fun edges, and then I've done this fun tassel. So this is it. She is 2 signatures and a folio. She is quite the chunky monkey. I'm absolutely obsessed with this kit, but I'm obsessed with everything April does. So let's get into her, shall we? We're going to open this, and this is made from bookboard. And then in here we have Captain Blackthorne's private papers, and it's just a folder to slide some things in. We've got this old blueprint that he found on his expedition. I want you to think of this journal as it was found after years, and so it documents his journey of above water and below. And so we're finding some of his papers and his notes throughout. So we start the journey above water. We've got our captain's log. We're at sea. And this is very much ocean steampunk vibes. So you'll see steampunk gears and hats and mechanical creatures all throughout. We've got this uptuck here with this lovely dyed piece of ledger. This is from Debbie Epps. I've got some vintage ledger and a few journal cards from Small Possibilities on Whatnot, but 90% of what you're going to see is April Storm Studios Siren's Call kit. And then I've added a few other things, some dyed papers, but I've taken the kit and created a lot of my own ephemera. We've got our tag here. You can tell, again, like the whole vibe is steampunk above the water and below, but we find magical creatures and machinery below water. So a fun decorated tag here. These are some fun dyed baby wipes and from dyeing my papers. And then these are papers from April's kit. A fun stenciled tag with some dyed cheesecloth from Laura Jean. And then I've done a lot of book page pockets, added some vellum for sound and texture. Journaling space, some dyed paper towel. I love just using different forms of papers to get texture and color. And then we get to our first full page pocket, and these are pockets from April's kit that I have tucked with fun little cards that would have to do with the captains and the goings on the ship, along with some specimen slides. I think he's heard of these creatures and creatures that he's captured specimens of along the way. And these are most of these are little tags that some of these are, they will come out, and others are completely attached, like these that are see-through. A couple of tags and journal cards from the kit, and back here, a nice big journaling spot. There's plenty of space in that pocket if you wanted to hide some other notes. We've got some more of Debbie Epps dyed papers, and now we start hearing, they're at sea, and they start hearing the sirens. I've added some lovely ruffle, more journaling space. This is a really fun envelope flip. So the tab indicates here to open it up. You've got lots of journaling space or place for photos. Then we're going to open it this way. And then we're sailing into the night. And we open it up and we have more spaces for notes. And we have a tuck back here from the envelope. This is the original envelope opening with a nice big sea star journal card. So that's our lovely envelope flip. And then we have some dyed vintage music sheets that I've created pockets out of and used the papers to do some masterboard tags and fussy cuts from the kit. And this pocket is really tight. Oh no, there we go. Need to strengthen that with some washi. I think, or that paper's not going to make it. And then we have a little tuck here with our handsome captain. And here, a couple more journal cards. So one thing about using vintage papers, you have to be very careful to strengthen the edges to make sure that they can handle the wear and tear of things coming in and out of those pockets. I think we're going to find a new home for her. But you get the idea. This is a fun pocket just made from some 6x6 paper. Let me show you what the whole pocket looks like. And then it becomes 4 different tucks for you. Islands sighted, so little fun places to take notes if you really want to follow along with the storyline. You could write your own story in here, which I think would be super fun. This is a junk mail envelope that's been embossed and inked, and we've got a couple of tags using kit supplies in there. And then this fun tuck on the other side. These are some of my own dyed papers. I love to use a mix of my own and others that I find. Okay, so Captain's Log. Day 7, we've encountered the sirens and their song. Day 10, the sirens returned, more insistent this time as a storm brews. And this is a fun tuck spot here. And then we have another tuck spot here where you could hide some notes to yourself. This nice, fun gold embossed piece with another dyed journaling spot. Some more of that vintage paper with a couple of tags, that vintage music. The Siren's Calm. We've got this fun library card pocket. And it's got a couple of tags, another specimen card, and a library card that you could write on, stamp on, create your own titles and dates if you wanted to. I sometimes will stamp things just to add a little bit more interest. Why does it not want to go in there? Come on, there we go. I don't know why it was fighting with me. There we go. And we're getting to the end of the first signature, and then more exciting things to happen. Lots of journaling space in place for you to add your own photos. And now we start to see the sirens. We've heard the call. We're seeing her in the mist, and we hit a really rough storm. More tags here using some applique. Some more of those baby wipes. We've got some tags here, and this is a cute little notebook for you to pull out and make some notes in, made with some scraps. And then back here, we've left lots of journaling space. And this is a fun flip pocket with lots of treasures from their voyages, from coins and keys and tags, and some more journaling space, and our handsome captain here. We're starting to see some things below the water, and then we open these gatefold doors, and we've got a map of the sea, and all of a sudden we're sucked into a tide pool. I left this undecorated because I liked kind of the camouflage pocket. I really wanted the effect of that tide pool to come through. The sirens are coming up out of the ocean to grab the men and the boat. And they get sucked into that, and it becomes a portal to the underworld of all of the sirens and these magnificent mechanical creatures and buildings. Kind of like Atlantis, right? We think about that kind of vibe. And we have our Leviathan here that's protecting the portal. And now we are in this underwater world of Oceanus. And we're in our second signature. And now we start to see these magical mechanical creatures, treasure chests, gears, sea monsters. We have this really fun waterfall, reverse waterfall pocket here. And each one of these has a nice big journaling card in it. You could add photos. You could use it for journaling space. You could even decorate on the insides of these flaps if you wanted to. I left it for you to do as you wish. And then behind it, we have a couple of fun tags. Here, yep, that's on the other side. I'm thinking of more of those textured paper, dyed papers and vellum. He's taking notes of everything he sees underwater, and he's writing letters to eventually send back home. And then we have this nice side tuck with this lovely tag with one of our sirens featured. Lots of cheesecloth, some momigami paper here, and a nice big journal card in this pocket. And then this double pocket, I wanted it to feel like portholes. So we have this final entry of the captain's log. We have a journal card back here that pops out, but you get to see her through that porthole. And then we've got a tag of the mermaid. And then this little journaling spot flips up. You could write a little note to yourself under there. And this is a big wide pocket. I just left something on this side so you could see it. And then we have a little circle pocket here. We're continuing to explore this new world. There's an observation center where we're watching out these cool portholes. And then we have a horizontal belly band. They're in the underwater world, and the seas are calm now that the storm is over, and they've decided to stay underwater for a while and really check everything out. More of my dyed papers, magical jellyfish, Debbie Epps dyed papers, and this lovely vintage music sheet on an altered vintage flashcard with this lovely cluster. I loved the colors of this paper with these pages. I just thought it was perfect. And we have, now they're partying with the sirens and the people of the underwater world. They've been accepted. And this is a really cool belly band. We've got this nice big journal card with one of our sirens. And then we also have, where's that? Where's one of those little cards? Hang on, I'll show you what I had in mind for this. Just got to find one of the little journal cards real quick. We'll use this one. Lots of places for you to tuck little things in. I love to leave empty spaces, but we also have a little pocket here. And we have a little journaling or another tuck spot here. So, triple belly band there. Another full page pocket with a lovely journaling card. You may recognize that paper from the front page. I printed them at 2 to a page and used them as journaling cards. And then we have more specimen cards of the creatures we're finding underwater and some of the plant life. This is a really fun envelope flip with a couple of large tags. We've got our gorgeous mermaid, a vintage flash card that's ready to be decorated and journaled on, whatever you want to do with it. We've got this pocket here, which is a really fun crinkle pocket. It's lined with coffee dyed tracing paper to give it that crinkle. And so you could tuck a note in there as well. We've got another specimen card and this big tag. And then this tag is fun because it has a little tuck spot as well with some things. Now we flip that open and we have another little tuck spot back here with a couple more tags. More dyed papers, a fun book page pocket with all kinds of fun things tucked in. If you've been following me for any amount of time, you know that I'm obsessed with specimen cards. So we've got all kinds of that stuff. This is an altered envelope that I've clipped in, and on this side, it's a big pocket. You can put a big tag in here, some journaling space back here, and this is the other side of that observation room that I showed you. But on the other side of this, we have two we have two pockets here that you can stick some things in. And I just paper clipped it in so that you could get to all the sides and have some more journaling space. And we're almost through the journal. We've got our matching waterfall here, or coordinating waterfall, and a nice journal card back here with our, this is really more of a trifold folio, and I think she's actually too big for back there. And again, each one of these have a big card for journaling. And a couple of fun journal cards using masterboard style backgrounds. And then we get to the very back, and this is where you will find this glassine bag, and it will be full of goodies that you can tuck in throughout the journal. I loved creating this one with the hidden spine and then covering it with this aged canvas or muslin. I thought that was a really fun touch. So that is Blackthorne's log. I would love to hear what you think about this journal in the comments. I appreciate you watching and joining me for some of the videos I've done as we've gone throughout the process with April and I in our weekly lives. This will be available for sale in my Whatnot shop. I am having a steampunk Whatnot show on August 5th. I want to say it's at 7 o'clock Central, but I'll leave my Whatnot link below. You can go bookmark the show. And in addition to the journal will be lots of the handmade ephemera that I have left over that I'll be selling as well. We're calling it the Steampunk Stash Journal and Ephemeral Sale. So let me know what you think. What themes do you want to see next? And do you have any questions for me? I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.